Well, it's Tuesday, the 4th day of August 2026. Good morning. Welcome to J Today here on GH1 television. This is obviously the best way to wake up in the capital and beyond. And I'm excited to be on your screens this morning to serve you nothing but the best in conversations that are of national importance. We'll also be touching base on some other interviews on health and others. Did you know that today is actually Physiotherapy Day? Well, we'll talk about that later on in the show. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Welcome aboard the show. From now till 10 a.m., we'll be serving you great content for your pleasure. And so if you're leaving home, please, we're live on Facebook, live on X, and also live on YouTube. So you can still take us along as you make your way to the office. But of course, it's a Tuesday, so let's bring you our quote of the day. And today's quote is from Dr. Sukraj S. Dillon, who says, "Never blame any day in your life. Good days give you happiness, bad days give you experience, and the worst days give you a lesson." Never blame any day in your life. Good days give happiness, bad days give experience, and the worst of days teach you a lesson. That's something that you cannot forget. So that's our quote of the day. But let's bring you our video of the day. And that's our video of the day. It's time to bring you sports, and Jones ADZI has joined me. My brother from Hodume has joined. Jones, good morning.
Morning. Odo.
Ofo.
Idiode.
Odo.
Nashonde.
Echofo.
Okay. Me da pena ma.
Akpekumiada. Yawo wa here viode.
Oh, I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Boys.
Boys. What's that word? What's that word?
How are your girlfriends?
Girlfriends. Oh, my female friends. They're all fine. We are all doing well by the grace of God.
You go explain after the show. My brother, it's nice to see you, Jones, on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And you're looking dapper and you're all black.
Yeah. We're outside. Happy birthday to Star FM, anniversary.
Yeah, Star is 12.
Yeah.
Star 103.5 FM is 12 years. And so this morning, you will not hear your regular voice behind the microphone because Nana Banamwa is hosting the Morning Star. And so they're also live on Facebook at Star 103.5 FM. So you can be watching us and watch them. Then, yeah, Star is 12. Happy birthday to Star FM. Yes.
So today, we are calling on Feeling Daddy. You got to make a move. You got to make something happen for the boys today. Anyway, we'll start off with the 2026 GHOne. And then the Black Queens were in action over the weekend, obviously. But the coach says that, he doesn't really care who is going to meet in the quarterfinals. He's focused on the Mali game. He wants his team to do well and get the 3 points. And then after that, they can talk about meeting either Malawi, Nigeria, or Zambia.
For you, but of course it's more open.
And then hopefully we'll see how it goes. In fact, on Thursday, they'll be in action on Thursday. But then yesterday there were some games from Group A, and then we saw Kenya, taking on Algeria, and also Morocco and Senegal. Morocco and Senegal played out a 0-0 draw, and it means, in fact, going to that game, Morocco had already qualified, and then Senegal needed that win. They needed to get a win. Morocco had a penalty and also missed it in that one. The other game saw Algeria taking on Kenya, and they beat the Kenyans by 2-0. So Kenya, we're already out of the tournament. Algeria needed that win. They needed to get a win in that brilliant free kick coming in there. Let's look at the table and let's see how things stand in Group A. Morocco first with 7 points, Algeria second with 6 points, Senegal third with 4 points, and Kenya have no points in there. So the first two have moved on. Now Group B, they're going to play their games tonight. La Côte d'Ivoire are top with 4 points, Burkina Faso second with 3, Tanzania third with 3, South Africa are fourth with just a point. The group is very open. Let's see the fixtures coming up today. Tanzania will take on La Côte d'Ivoire at 8 p.m. Burkina Faso will also take on South Africa. And big games coming up tonight. Don't forget that the 2026 GHOne is a qualifier to the 2027 World Cup that will be happening in Brazil. And we expect Team Ghana to do very well in that one. Well, the Commonwealth Games, Josh, I'm sure you've also heard about the some rumors that some athletes have jackpot. But the statement has come in from the Olympic Committee. They're saying that some of these athletes they have their visas valid till 18th August.
Right.
So just hold on.
Hold on. After 18th August, you can now see
that
truly jackpot.
Exactly. So let's just hold on and hold your horses, please. They've not jackpot at all. And they also say that some will also arrive in badges. 40 athletes were sent.
Charlie, we saw what happened, Morocco people trying to get into Spain.
They are Morocco. We Ghana. We love Ghana.
They play.
Well, this is the medal table and how it ended. Josh, Australia came top with 171 medals, 70 gold medals, 45. 56. But we are interested in the African teams. Nigeria is the first African team. They had 10 gold medals and 7 silver medals, 7 bronze medals, a total of 24. And then you see South Africa in there. You look at Kenya, Mauritius, Cameroon. Then you have to go all the way to the other list. That's where you find Ghana. And Ghana.
Charlie, two pair. Two. Oh.
Oh.
Charlie.
Lying somewhere 30th with 2 medals. 1 from boxing, bronze, and then 1 from shot put.
And it's shameful. Look at the countries we are at par with.
Oh, Charlie. Shameful.
Oh, very shameful. Look at the countries. Nauru, Bermuda. Oh, Charlie. We are not done well.
Anyway, well, we've been talking about that. We'll continue talking about it today on the Sports Digest on Star 103.5 FM, and of course on the game at exactly 1 p.m. here on GH1 TV. Quickly, some transfer news. And we know that Jordan Henderson has joined Chelsea from Brentford, and a free deal, the former Liverpool captain joining in there. And also we can confirm to you that Danny Welbeck has also joined Chelsea in there. So Chelsea are signing the experienced players as well as some young players to balance the team ahead of the new season. The new season starts somewhere 24th of August, yes. 21st, 24th of August. And the Premier League season would be underway. I'm here to bring you all that right here. Well, Josh, that'll do it.
Very well.
There's some news as well from UFC. There's Nascimento, 34-year-old Nascimento, died of heart attack, you know. And you know that some of these UFC guys are prone to, heart attack and all this, but they still, because of the money, they go in there. And this guy died in his sleep. And Nascimento, sad one coming in from the world of UFC. And that should do it for the sports chat this morning.
Also, that's Jones ADZI with the sports chat. Let's look at what the papers are also reporting this morning. Daily Guide newspaper. Court freezes Miracles Abuaja's bank accounts, properties, and comes with his picture there. Also, UCC takes postgraduate degrees online, launches e-campus. There's also fuel prices skyrocket. Petrol selling at 16 cedis, 29 pesos. Diesel at 19 cedis, 49 pesos. But we know that there's been a directive from the president asking that the OMCs would take a 2 cedi margin of the price per liter of diesel. So it will be selling at 17 cedis, 49 pesos. But this morning on my way to work, there were some stations that also had still 19 cedis reflecting on their boards. Female ringleader, 9 others arrested for selling weed drinks and ice cream. I'm told recently that now they also lace noodles. So you're buying noodles in your mind, you think you're getting just noodles, and there are some things in there. 2 killed, 7 injured in a Crack-Kumasi highway crash. We saw that news yesterday. Very, very horrible story there. Also captured on the front page of the Daily Guide. The Daily Graphic this morning is reporting Parliament ratifies mining agreements for 6 companies, and it has a picture of the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofibua. There's also revives distressed state enterprises to create jobs. That's the ICU speaking to government. Government reduces diesel pump price by 2 cedis. Has a picture of the spokesperson of the president, Felix Kwachofosu. Then expand opportunities for all. Deputy Majority Leader urges MPs. And Scholarships Authority begins 2026-2027 academic year interviews today. That's the Daily Graphic for you. The Dispatch says Mahama's trusted hand, why Dr. Julius Debra has twice served as his chief of staff. The story is on page 11 of the Dispatch. Recruitment, medically cleared applicants still under consideration. That's according to the Ghana Police Service. Afoko calls for unity in NPP, cites his experience and the 2016 victory for the party. That's the Dispatch for you. The Daily Searchlight this morning is reporting NPP ready for major demonstration over Sedna Tamaklo acquittal. That's happening on Thursday, the 6th of August. Inferno on Accra to Kumasi Highway. 7 affected in fiery multi-vehicle collision. High Court freezes Dennis Miracles Abuaje's bank account, seizes properties. Patients of Anya Polyclinic stranded by power outages. Showboy Foundation organizes fish farming skills training for Trifohemang Senior High Technical School. And yes, that's what the Daily Searchlight is reporting. Let's move on to the archives this morning. TOR recruits 300 young engineers into permanent positions. 1,542 jobs created as management invests in future of Ghana's refining industry. Age should not be sole measure of competence. Council of State member welcomes presidential age reform. And there's also Gomashi questions land minister over cooperative mining fiasco. And it's not Ablanjifa Gomashi. This is wisdom, Edem Gomashi, asking the questions. And APL demands accountability in mining sector, calls for probe into Gold Board, Gunrap, others. And there's Bost Energies donates 1 million cedis to Medical Trust Fund, also captured on the front page of the archives. You can get copies of these papers from the newsstands to get details of the stories that prick your interest. But I will take a breather. When we come back, we'll get into the conversations. All right, thank you so much for staying on with us. This is the breakfast review segment of GA Today on GH1 Television. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah, and this morning I've been joined by three gentlemen who will be helping us appreciate the conversations from their various perspectives as well. And so let me quickly introduce. I have Bernard Kwame Redu. He's a private legal practitioner and a member of the NPP's Legal Directorate. And also here is Julius Kwame Anthony. He is the press secretary for the ministry.
Ghana, Greater Accra, Gamashi. Are you ready for the biggest festival carnival in Ghana? Is the GHOne Carnival 2026. Starting from Thursday 6th to Sunday 9th of August 2026. The heartbeat of Ghana will echo from Jamestown, Manchabo, flowing through the historic Atanos High Street to Lata. Witness and experience 4 unforgettable days. One historic destination, Gamashi. 6th August, Red Thursday, so be there. The legendary homecoming procession. 7th August, White Friday, yeah. Dress in white and experience the Twin Festival, culture, tradition, and music. Saturday, 8th August, Homowa Red Saturday, the grand climax. Join thousands in the sea of red and display of royalty as Galhashi comes alive with spectacular sprinkling of popoi, followed by a mega concert featuring Ghana's biggest music stars. Sunday, Owala. Come dressed in white. Day of Thanksgiving, reconciliation.
He holds the cane of
yes.
decorum on the
he's
show.
Overseer here. So I love it on Tuesdays, especially knowing that I'm coming to meet Mr. Janto. But today, have you realized you've assembled 3 Kwames?
3 Kwames.
Very interesting.
I'm the odd one out.
Which one?
Kodjo.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You are closer to God now. So good morning to you.
Good morning. Kwame Julius, how's it?
By God's grace, all is well. I
Right.
would want to use my introductory remarks to commend 2 illustrious sons of the land who, since President Mahamad's inception of the reset agenda, have been doing tremendously well in their various sectors. I'll start with my own boss, the Honorable Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, who as Interior Minister, the records are there for all to see. If you take NACOC, for example, your sister station did a documentary on drugs recently, and I was there to discuss it. If you see the work that NACOC is doing, increase NACOC's presence. When we came to power, only 7 districts. Now over 77 districts have NACOC presence, with the aim of at least reaching 2/3 by end of next year.
Yeah.
That way we can be able to deal with that menace and several other things. Immigration service was essentially squatting in most of the regions. Now we are nearing completion of 8 headquarters for the Ghana Immigration Service. I want to commend him. Then secondly, because we are going to discuss the issue of Sedinam Tameklo, I want to also commend lawyer Eduji Tameklo, who has single-handedly been able to bring the nation's attention to the realities of the matters within that judgment. You would observe that it was until he decided that the reframe, optics, to the detriment of the rule of law, that a lot of people decided that, no, we have to pay attention to what is in the judgment. You saw outrage from the likes of Manasseh Azuri Awuni. You saw outrage from the likes of the Leonard Oliver Bakavoma. All of them, outraged initially when they heard that there was an acquittal. Then slowly everybody began to say, oh, upon reading, we have noticed this. Upon reading, in fact, even your
You're getting into the
You're
substance of
getting
the
into the
conversation.
I'm not. There's a lot in the substance. If you would permit me to just write upon it.
This NACOP thing, now that you are here, this matter of infused, like where young people in the universities, is becoming very
Infused
relevant.
Very
you need
prevalent.
to-
That
you
is
need
why
to really bring it to
that is why the
Sobolo.
minister is turning
You
his
need to
attention.
really bring it to the attention
his
because
attention
even
to
now,
that
Kostiani
issue.
Meko, they put cannabis in.
It's the change in the method of transmission is serious.
It's
But let me
something.
complete my thoughts on that. 10 seconds.
Briefly.
Let me complete my.
Yes.
It was until then that everybody began saying, no, let's look at the content of this thing, and you would see that there was a reversal all over. Everybody beginning to see the challenges that were in the High Court ruling, and I think that he deserves his commendations for that illustrious work and also on his role at MPA. Now we are going to be reducing fuel prices by 2 Ghana cedis, when it comes to diesel and all of that. He's doing a fantastic job there. And I'm very grateful to him for bringing the nation's attention to the real issue, not emotions. I'm very grateful to him for doing that.
Kodjo, let's get up and go. Let's talk about everything.
He's talking about NACOP, immigration,
I'm surprised. Let me say also.
No, but the NACOC issue is very important.
No,
You realize it's serious.
It's something that
It's
really
serious.
worries me because I work with a lot of young people, and as in their discussions these days, I mean, almost everything they take has been infused with. It's a terrible thing.
So I keep telling people, if you go for parties, stick to the drinks that you know that are in bottles. The cocktails, if you can, avoid them.
Why should it be the case?
No, because you don't know what's in there. So you want to be on the safer side. So me, when I see cocktails, I just shy away from them.
I have two things. The first one is the fact that we now have nearly 12,000 lawyers in Ghana. I think it's a feat, but we need more. And the young seem to want to go into the profession. But sometimes when you hear why they want to go into the profession, some of them will say, oh, it's because of the wig. It shouldn't be because
Is it not
of the wig.
beautiful?
Well, but it's an old relic, let's face it. So for me, I think that is substantial. Number 2, that accident that happened at Bonsu Junction.
Which was
No, recently.
Yesterday. Just yesterday.
Yesterday. And nearly all the vehicles caught fire.
Yes.
The STC bus, the tanker that fell into the river.
water body,
So please, let's be very mindful. And we need to do those bypasses to make sure that this kind of carnage doesn't happen. Because it's sad. Somebody has lost a father. Somebody has lost a daughter. Somebody has lost a son. So we hope that we would take care when driving, not only during Christmas, anytime you're on the road. Sometimes it's crazy, very, very crazy, especially in town and the motorbikes. In town and the motorbikes, the way they whiz round vehicles, very, very, very.
Yesterday I was with someone and his horn was not working. And that was his headache because he says you can't drive in a car without horn.
Yes, you can't. You can't. I see that they are putting barricades on the Kanda highway.
the Nima stretch.
The Nima stretch.
To avoid the crossing.
To avoid the crossing. That's extra money. If we were to stick to crossing on zebra crossings, and if we were to place zebra crossings at vantage points that people can cross, I don't think we would need to spend that money to do that. But so be it. Let's hope nobody goes at night to cut it down and sell the, what do you call it?
Scrap.
But let me ask you,
Yes,
the airports, the so-called Big Six, is it coming back or it's not? I see they are trying to beautify the roundabout. Does that mean they are bringing it back? Nobody's saying.
The one that was removed by somebody.
Well, someone actually damaged them, so they had to remove it.
Yes.
At least they should tell us something.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyway, so let's get to the discussions for today. And I'll start with you, Council Oredu.
Will you start with me?
Yes, I'll start with you.
Because
you're the ones going on
legal
demonstration.
holiday, so
Legal vacations.
I'm very much relaxed.
Yes, because your party is very displeased about this whole thing. Earlier, Julius said, well, everybody's is making a U-turn from emotions to getting to realize that, well, it's not about how we feel, but it's about what actually transpired. And your party says on the 6th of August, you're embarking on a demonstration because you feel that things are not being done right with regards to setting issue.
Exactly so. Let me say good morning to your viewers and special greetings from our flag bearer to all your viewers, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. Inshallah, he's forming his government in 2029. And a special good morning to the communication team of the party within the Akotia constituency. It's headed by a gentleman called John Asante, popularly known as GHOne. And he has the likes of Farouk, Isaac Akwa, other guys helping him with party communication within the Akotia constituency. They are doing a good job. We commend them. We are in opposition, so it's about sacrifice. They should keep on with the sacrifice, and their reward will be in 2029 in the government of Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia.
Hopefully a 5-year term, eh?
That might be, honestly, it's not something I really support.
Well, we'll get to
I'm
that.
sure probably we may discuss it, but you see, this Sedina issue, I listened to the learned Attorney General when he said that he believes in the merits of the High Court judgment,
Yes.
and even hinted appealing the Court of Appeal judgment. And that statement is profound. It's very much profound, especially coming from someone as learned as the Attorney General, which I know personally. And I know he just doesn't speak. So for the Attorney General to have said that he believes that the High Court judgment has some merits and will appeal it, it's like I said, it's very much profound and we can't ignore it. I side with him. In fact, he said the obvious. I have perused the judgment, and I think that even considering the discussions around the judgment, I think that even for lawyers, for law students, it will be in our interest for the Supreme Court to have a look at it. Because you see, the Supreme Court does not only bring finality to matters as the final appellate court in this country, it also sort of gives a policy direction in terms of what's supposed to be done in an area of law. And this particular case raises a lot of issues, which that I think the Supreme Court should come in to give us finality and practice direction. As to the issues of whether Madam Sedina did the act and all that, it boils down to evaluation of evidence.
Yeah.
And as for evaluation of evidence, it's always subjective. It is the reason when lawyers are going on appeal, there is always an omnibus clause. Mr. Janto will tell you and will confirm that. The judgment is against the weight of evidence. So as to what my brother Duji is doing, bringing attention to the evidence and all that, those are subjective matters. But the real issues are the issues of defective charges. I think it is high time we get some sort of direction, we get some sort of finality to issues of defective charges. That is why I believe it should be handled by the Supreme Court. And that is where I also think that the Court of Appeal got it wrong, in my respectful opinion. And I'll tell you what. To be fair with them, in the judgment, they did it was good. Yeah. 2 provisions, and I think two provisions in the Act 30 and a constitutional provision came up. And they tried to resolve it. But in their resolution, I thought there was a bit of a misdirection. And I'll tell you. It was Section 112 of Act 30 and Section 406 of Act 30. Those were very critical provisions in the judgment. And in fact, they acknowledge it in paragraph, I don't know if you have the judgment. Do you have a copy of the judgment? I think I'll leave mine with you. Yeah. Yes. Oh, you've done it. In paragraph 52 of the judgment, the Court of Appeal, to be fair to them, raised these issues. And let me read to your viewers. Thank you, Mr. Jantua. I need glasses these days.
The man is fighting it. It will come. It will come. Just take it like that.
Okay, so paragraph 52, with your permission, I'm reading. And which I think I'll give a part at the back for the Court of Appeal raising this matter. The provisions of Act 30 lie at the heart. Two provisions of Act 30 lie at the heart of this inquiry. Section 112 to 4 and 406 of the Act. The Court of Appeal was on point when it says that the provision that is at the heart of this whole Sedina case is 112 and 406. And I'll explain why. 112 gives the threshold of how charges are to be framed or proffered. Yeah. So it gives you a sort of a guideline as to what should be in a charge sheet. That is what 112 does. And with your permission, I'll just read 1121 so that we educate your viewers. You know, your platform is for that. The heading is Statement of Charges in Necessary Documents. And subsection 1 reads, subject to the special rules as to indictment mentioned in this section, a charge complaints, summons, warrants, or any other documents laid, issues or made for purposes of or in connection with proceedings before a court for an offense shall be sufficient. So a charge shall be sufficient. This is where the emphasis is. If it contains a statement of offense with which the accused person is charged, together with the particulars necessary for giving, this is where it gets interesting. The particulars should be necessary for giving reasonable information as to the nature of the charge, and although there may be a rule of law to the contrary, it shall not be necessary for it to contain any further particulars other than the particulars necessary. So section 112 of Act 30 sets the threshold for charges against any accused person. And the emphasis is that it should give adequate information to the accused person to respond. That is the threshold. That is the constitutional requirement. It is in conjunction with Article 19.2b. Article 19.2b states that, so you have your constitution as well. 19.2d. 19.2d. Yes, 19.2d conforms with section 112. Maybe let me help you.
I think that's that.
Just open it for me.
Is that?
You know those days when the pastors are preaching, they have
They have someone to open it for them.
So you read it for me, 19.
For purposes of
yes, 19
edification of our.
And just okay. I thought you were going to read it for me. It says 19:2. A person charged with a criminal offense shall, I'm jumping 19 to the D, be informed immediately in a language he understands and in detail of the nature of the offense. So section 112 conforms with 19.2d, like give the person the detail, but just that section 112 goes further to say that the information you give or the details you give should be such that it will give the accused person enough information to know the charges preferred against him or her. So that is one side. Yes. So I commend the Court of Appeal for that. Then there's a section 406. Section 406 is so crucial to our criminal jurisprudence such that the Supreme Court should come in and give a finality to this. Section 406 contemplated a situation where the charges will not meet the standard as contemplated under Section 112 or 19.2d. But this is what Section 406 says. That, listen, after a person has been convicted, and we later even find out that the charges that were preferred against the person was defective, this is what you have to do. And indeed, the Court of Appeal adverted their mind to this. This is what they said. So let me read Section 406 first, and I'll tell you what the Court of Appeal said in the case of Sedina that I disagree with and believe that the finality should go and rest with the Supreme Court, just as Dr. Dominic has said. 406, with your permission I read. Kodjo. Subject to this part of, subject to this part, Mr. Janto, probably I may have to consider getting glasses.
Yeah, 40. That's when I started wearing glasses.
Yeah, I've been there 40 care. Subject to this part, Kodjo.
I'm listening.
A finding. Sentence. Emphasis on what? Sentence. Madame said he had been what? Sentenced. Okay. A finding, sentence, or order passed by a court of competent jurisdiction. Was the High Court a court of competent jurisdiction? Yes. Shall not be reversed or altered on appeal. This is 406. So I'm taking your viewers through some bit of criminal procedure. The threshold is 112 in conformity with 19.2d. But if you don't meet the threshold, then there's a saving grace under 406. And this is what 406 says. Subject to this part, a finding, sentence, or order passed by a court of competent jurisdiction shall not be reversed, or altered on appeal or review on account, A, of an error. That's a defect, of an error, omission, or irregularity in the complaint. So if there is an error, an irregularity in the charge sheet, 406 says that it should not warrant a reversal. summons, charge, proclamation, order, or any other proceedings before or during a trial, in an inquiry or any other proceedings under this act. B, of the omission to revise a list of jurors in acceleration. That is not even for us. It is the 2, the 4062, which was in contention and which I believe should be sent to the Court of Appeal, like Dr. Dominic has said. Now listen, it's interesting. In determining whether an error, that is an error in the charge sheet or a defect in the charge sheet, omission, irregularity has occasioned, let me read, forgive me, let me read the 406C for you.
Right.
Kodjo, are you with me?
I'm listening.
Okay. Subject to this part, a finding, sentence, or order passed by a court of competent jurisdiction shall not be reversed or altered on appeal or review on account C of a misdirection in a charge or jury, unless, this is the catchword, unless the error, omission, irregularity, misdirection has in fact, the catchword here is what? In fact, occasioned a substantial miscarriage of justice. Those are the stipulations of 406. So 406 says that if the charge sheets do not meet the standard set under 112, which has been repeated in 192D, what you have to do is, you say, hold on, I have to ask myself these questions. That the charge sheets which were in error were defective. Did it in fact occasion a miscarriage of justice to the accused person? That is where you can come in to intervene that. Because in your own estimation, the defects in the charge sheet occasion a miscarriage of justice, then you can quash them.
Right.
But if not, you cannot reverse them. You have to order at best a ritual. Okay. So this is what the Court of Appeal was faced with. They had to ask themselves the question, was the defect in those charge sheets, about 34 of them, from count 5 to 71, were those defects such that, in fact, they have occasioned a miscarriage of justice, such that we should quash them? And this was their answer, found in paragraph 58 of the judgment. This is the conclusion they came to. Yes, paragraph 56. So in answering that question,
yes,
this is what the Court of Appeal came to. And it is enshrined in paragraph 56 and 57 of the judgment. Please, I hope you are following. They were answering the 46 as to whether indeed a miscarriage of justice has been occasioned, such that those charges should be quashed. This is their answer to 46.
Right.
406.
In 2 minutes.
Oh, no, this one I can't do 2 minutes.
Oh, no,
Give me
no,
5 minutes.
That's 15 minutes.
Oh,
In 2 minutes, you would have done 15 minutes.
Okay,
and that's
so
why I
then
need to
I'll
alert
finish
you.
first.
So that I can give Julius and counsel
That
time.
analysis must not, however, obscure a more serious class of case. Some defects are not matters of form at all. They are defects of substance. A charge which discloses no known offense, omits an essential ingredient of the accusation, or leads to a conviction unlawful in law, cannot be saved by section 406. In such a case, the premise on which the curative provision rests that no substantial miscarriage of justice has occasioned is absent. And this is what they add in 57. The governing principle may therefore be stated shortly. First, the adequacy of a charge sheet is assessed by asking whether, viewed in its sitting and in the light of the trial as a whole, it gave an accused person reasonable notice of the case to be met. Secondly, where the defect is technical, this is where I find fault with them. Where the defect is technical, superfluous, or curable, and no real prejudice is shown, section 406 of Act preserves the conviction and any sentence properly found. Thirdly, where the defect is fundamental, it deprives the charge of legal substance or withholds true notice of an essential element of the offense, the conviction cannot stand, notwithstanding section 406, and any sentence resting upon it must be set aside. So the Court of Appeal came to the conclusion that for this particular case,
Yeah.
they believe that those defects have occasioned miscarriage of justice, and
yes.
therefore they will go ahead to quash it. That is where I think it's problematic.
Right.
Why is it problematic? And we need the Supreme Court to come in. It is problematic because in this day in criminal prosecutions in Ghana, when an accused person, when the charges are read to an accused person in an open court, it doesn't end there. There is something we call disclosures. The disclosures give adequate information to the accused person as to the nature, the witnesses of all the charges that have been preferred against the accused person. So for me, for the Court of Appeal to have raised that was perfect, but the conclusion they came to is problematic.
Okay.
It is the reason I am of the view that let's give the matter to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
And let the Supreme Court give us a definite pronouncement as to when can a court say that because these defects are so substantial, I will quash it, or it can be cured by a ritual. The finality should not rest with the Court of Appeal.
Okay.
So for me, as to all the various arguments and all that, me as a lawyer, as a law teacher, I believe that this is such a crucial legal point that at what point should we say that the defects are so substantial that it will warrant a miscarriage of justice such that the provisions to be quite enforced cannot come in. If the Supreme Court is seized with this matter, they will not only bring clarity and finality, it will also provide a practice direction for lawyers. Thank you.
So that's Bernard Oredu there, espousing his position on this particular matter. Julius, I know, is warming up, but let's take a breather. When we come back, we'll be hearing from Julius Kwame Anthony and then Kwame Jantua as well. All right, thank you so much for staying on with us. This is still the Breakfast Review segment of GA Today here on GH1 Television. My three Kwames are still in studio with me. We've heard from the first Kwame. It's time to hear from the man who is the
started with the youngest Kwame.
Okay, my bad.
Would it make any difference?
Easy. So let's hear from Kwame, Julius Kwame Anthony as well on his position when it comes to this matter. Now, you've heard from Council. He says, well, there are questions that he's raising in terms of how things went. But then you, in your initial commentary, started with what the public sentiment is versus what we are reading now in the judgment itself.
You see, we have a case on our hand where the New Patriotic Party took advantage of the aversion of the Ghanaian people towards political corruption and use of public office for private benefit to nail an individual who, when you subject the charges, the facts, the testimonies of the New Patriotic Party-led, state prosecution by the Leonard Godfrey Dame, the testimonies of their own prosecution witnesses, and the facts and timelines of the payments that were made, you would come to an irresistible conclusion that the emotions of Ghanaians was just whipped up against an individual because they know that Ghanaians hate corruption. And so they tagged that individual with it, and at the end of the day, convicted the person. And the evaluation of the courts themselves, 3 learned justices of the Court of Appeal came to a clear conclusion that there was no basis in law to convict this person. I would not spend time on the issue of defective charges. The reason why I will not spend time on it is because the Ghanaian people want to know truly, one, whether or not monies that were meant for Kantamanto fire victims was indeed appropriated by Madam Sedinam Tameklo for herself. Whether or not monies that were refunded by Obatampa was appropriated by Madam Sedinam Tameklo for herself. And whether or not monies that were made for sensitization across the regions in this country were appropriated by Madam Sedinam Tameklo herself. And whether there is a basis in law to acquit and discharge her. Those are substantial issues Ghanaians want to hear. I will start first with attention. And Council, I believe, will agree with me. Fortunately, today, as a student of law, I find myself in the middle of 2 lawyers. And I believe they will all agree with me that the Supreme Court has consistently held that bail pending appeal is irregular, and that the only conditions under which they will grant same is when there is a substantial basis to believe that the appeal is likely to succeed, or there are exceptional circumstances in the instance, and that it will be contrary to the fundamental human right of the convicted person that they continue to serve the sentence. And in situations where it is likely the person may serve the whole sentence before the appeal will be heard. You know that Madam Sedinam Tameklo was not convicted alone. She was convicted with one other person. The Supreme Court of the Republic of Ghana has granted bail pending appeal to that individual, which was subsisting since 2025. But because he is not a political figure like Madam Sedinam Tameklo, there was no jamboree about it. And do you know the only reason why the Supreme Court, the apex court of the land, would do that? It is when they believe that the appeal of that individual is likely to succeed. And so for any student of law or for anyone who follows legal discourse in this country, it comes as no surprise that a party to the same case will succeed on appeal, because the Supreme Court, the apex court, had already given a verdict which gives an indication that they believe that with the facts before them, an appeal is likely to succeed. The second issue I want to deal with is the particular issue of the stealing charge in the Obatampa case. Yes. The accusation is that Madam Sedinam Tameklo has appropriated 500,000 cedis, being cash payment made to her by Obatampa, which is supposed to be for Maslock. And you know what happened in court? When I make an allegation of stealing against you, and I'm relying on a document, which is a public document, Council will agree with me that Section 175 of NRCD 323, that is the evidence decree, says that you must bring the best evidence. We call it the best evidence rule in law, which means you must bring the original copy or the certified true copy from that public institution. That is the best evidence. Maslock, a public institution went to court and they were asked, where is the letter of acknowledgement that you said Madam Sedinam Tameklo acknowledged that she has received the money, which is Exhibit A, which you are relying on? They brought a supposed copy of the letter, uncertified, as true, which is required of them under Section 175, which I believe both counsel would agree with me on, uncertified. And then Madam Sedinam Tameklo says that, I did not sign this. Then the trial judge said, this uncertified document, which you said you have not signed, you prove to us that you have not signed it. What is the refrain in law when it comes to criminal prosecution? Is it not that he who alleges must prove, and that the prosecution must prove the charge beyond reasonable doubt? And so on that, on the best evidence rule, they were unable to adduce the best evidence, which is the copy. Maslock, as a public institution, was unable to certify that they own this document. It belongs to the institution. And then the person who is accused said, I did not do it. Then the trial judge said, you should prove that it is not your signature. Is that how it works? That is not how it works. So when the MPP turns around and tells you that on the Obatampa charge, Madam Sedinam should be convicted. Here's the fact. You, my audience, judge for yourself. You brought a copy of a document. The original, which is supposed to be in your hands, in the hands of Maslock. Because at the time, Sticker was CEO of Maslock. And so could have had the original to produce. He did not bring it. I said, I did not sign the so-called copy you are producing. The judge said that I should prove that I did not sign it. Is that how it works? Is it not them who are supposed to prove that I indeed signed an acknowledgement? So on the issue of Obatampa, those are the facts as summarized. Those are the facts. They said someone should go to jail for this. They said someone should go to jail for this. Then on the issue of sensitization and monitoring, that Maslock was supposed to reach out to over 85,300 plus people. And monies were approved for that purpose. So they said, 20 cedis each was supposed to be given to the participants. I think a total of 1.8 million, I don't remember the figure correctly, was signed for that purpose. They went to court and claimed that the sensitization did not happen. And that Madam Sedinam Tameklo took the money for herself. When you claim that an event did not happen, whose duty is it to show that the event did not happen? It is your duty to show that the event did not happen. In law, when it comes to evidence, we have what we call hearsay, which is generally inadmissible in law, unless the exceptions which are clearly stated in NRCD 323. And so you must be able to come under those exceptions when you are relying on hearsay. Do you know what they did? There is a firm called Bafoewa and Associates, which was PwC's in the prosecution. Yeah. And then an IOCO official, which was PW7 in the case. And then PwC's and PW7 are saying that they heard from the regional officers of Maslock that the program did not happen. I was taught evidence by the learned Maxwell Opokwajiman and Mr. Augustine Obuo. At that point, Mr. Obuo especially will tell you, the moment he says, Atamami said, you shout, objection. Because Atamami is not before the court. The learned Augustine Obuo will tell you, the moment he says, Atamami told me, when Atamami is not before the court, you shout objection. Because what does Section 60 of NRCD 323 says? It says that the testimony must be from someone who has perceived it themselves. In fact, the title of Section 60 is that personal knowledge is required. You, who is testifying, must have personal knowledge of the fact that you are testifying to before court. PwCs and PW7 do not have personal knowledge of what they were testifying to. They said the regional officers told them. And as prosecution, and this is why we are saying that the learned Godfrey Dami Esquire did a very shoddy job with this. Because how difficult is it to get Maslock regional officers to come to court and testify to a fact which they themselves have claimed? You have only one job. Get Maslock regional officers to come to court and come and say that, yes, we were supposed to have done that program along with our boss. It did not happen. The learned Godfrey Dami could not do this simple thing. He took people who went to adduce hearsay evidence. And I'm telling you that if you are in the learned Augustine Obuo's class, He will tell you at that point where the PW6 and PW7 said, we heard from this other person to shout objection. It must not go into the record. The Leonard Godfrey Dami Esquire and the New Patriotic Party are saying that someone should be convicted on this. They are saying people should be convicted on this. That is what they are saying we should do in this country. Oh, please. And the Court of Appeal has the opportunity to look at it. And you hear the verdict of the Court of Appeal. And with respect, counsel, you spoke for 18 minutes. I timed it. And in all those 18 minutes, except for the period where you yourself invited me to help you read, I did not say a word. And I'll respectfully require the same courtesy.
That one, if you know read.
Even that, I passed it to him to read it himself.
He declined to read.
So I respectfully ask that you extend the same courtesy. The Leonard Godfrey Dami had only one job. Bring the regional officers to come and say that it did not happen. He could not do just that. And when this is struck out, they are complaining about what? Evidence class, first year, you would hear this. The moment he says, Atamami said, and Atamami is not before court, objection, because it must not go in. And I believe both counsel will agree with me on that, on the basic rule. Hearsay. Section 60 requires personal knowledge. You yourself must have seen, heard. You, the person with it, you must have seen it. They went to court with Atamami said. That's what they went to court with. They went to court with Atamami said. That's what they went to court with. Ake, yesi, obe. That's what they went to court with. And they want someone should be jailed for this. The next one, and I believe that one is very important to the Ghanaian people.
Right.
And so I want to address it. The Kantamanto fire incidents. The reason why it is very important to the Ghanaian people is because a certain perception has been sold out there that Madam Sedina Tameklo is so wicked that monies that were meant for fire victims, she chopped it. And so she must go to jail. And that is what riles up people in Ghana a lot. That is why most people are angry in Ghana. But you know what happened in court? You know who was PW1? Sticker. We all know Sticker, right?
Yeah.
Inshaiso MP, Sticker. New Patriotic Party MP for Inshaiso, Sticker, was PW1. At the time, he was Maslock boss. Do you know what happened in court? The Kantamanto fire incidents, in summary, is that a total of 1.46 million Ghana cedis was approved to be distributed to Kantamanto fire victims through, Joadifo Adamfo Savings and Loans, which Madam Sedinam Tameklo is alleged to have taken 579,800 cedis of that money for herself. That is the allegation. Then the duty was on them to show that she indeed took that money. You know who they invited to court, as I said? Sticker. Sticker came to court. And for our purposes, go to page 81 of the judgment. Go to page 81 and 82 if you are listening to me now and read. Sticker came to court and Sticker was asked about this particular money. The one who was incumbent CEO of Maslock. And he said that on that particular matter of Madam Sedinam Tameklo appropriating monies meant for Kantamanto victims,
yes,
that issue is no longer material. Sticker said that in court. The prosecution's own witness, the person the Leonard Godfrey Dami Esquire took to court to testify on behalf of the state that Madam Sedinam Tameklo stole money meant for Kantamanto fire victims, went to court and said that that issue is no longer material because he has found that the money was used for the intended purpose. Please go to page 81 and 82 of the judgment. Go there now. Sticker himself. And in all of this, have you noticed that Sticker has not commented on this matter? Have you noticed that Sticker, who was Maslock boss after Madam Sedinam Tameklo, has never at any point in time commented on this matter because his testimony in court is contrary to what the New Patriotic Party wants you to believe. Sticker, who was the New Patriotic Party's appointee to Maslock after Madam Sedinam Tameklo, said that the money was used for its purpose. And he was asked again, how did you come to the conclusion that the money was used for its purpose? He said that we do external and internal checks. Read the judgment, page 81 and 82. Read the judgment. We did external and internal checks. When he was asked what he meant by external checks, he said that his checks from Bafo Ewa and Associates, the institution that did the audit and said that Madam Sedinam Tameklo stole money, their checks from that same institution shows that the money was used from its intended purpose. But then when they were going to court, they went with an audit report that does not include this finding. Doesn't it look to you like deliberate skewing of documents for purposes of nailing somebody? When Sticker, who was the CEO of Maslow, says that his checks with the very institution that did the audit said the money was used for its intended purpose. That's the external checks he claimed. The internal check, that is his check from Maslow as an institution, shows that the money was used for its intended purpose. But the audit reports, which they tendered before court, does not include the aspect where they said the money was used for. It was a deliberate, framing of an individual with the purposes of achieving a political intent. I am not in the business of declaring people innocent. Because even in the study of law, they will tell you that people are declared not guilty. There's only a presumption that they are innocent. But when proceedings happen in court, they are either determined to be guilty or not guilty. Not guilty is not the same as innocent.
Innocent, right.
I am not in the business of going to declare people innocent or not. But when you follow this presentation, and I can tell you, I am here myself to verify it. The judgment is here. We can all go into it. That the things I am saying are incontrovertible. If you follow these things, does it lead to a conclusion that the prosecution was able to establish guilt in the matter? And what I am shocked at, in fact, I am in complete awe, that a prosecution's witness comes to court to contradict the prosecution's case, but the person was convicted on that charge. If I haul you before court, Joshua, I said you have stolen money, and I said my witness is Counsel Kwame. Counsel Kwame, who I have brought as a witness that you, Joshua, have stolen money, comes to court and says that, oh, that issue is no longer needed because he has discovered that the money I claim you have stolen was actually used for its intended purpose. How do we jail you? How do we jail you?
Right.
You tell me. Do you think you should go to jail? Do you think you should go to jail? Sticker went to court as CEO of Maslow. PW1 was Sticker, Inshaeso MP. New Patriotic Party MP for Inshaeso. Went to court and said that the money they claimed, which was meant for Kantamanto 5, and I am emphasizing this. You will notice that I have gone over this the second time. I'm emphasizing it because
As you wrap up for me.
in this our politics, when people want to destroy your reputation, when they want to finish you kwata, they pick issues that will whip up people's emotions against you, make people hate you. Because it is easy for you to make people hate someone if you say that, oh, people's stores were burnt, and then monies were meant for them, and the person stole it. It is very easy to do that. And so the MPP deliberately framed this woman with that and said that she took monies belonging to Kantamanto fire victims. Only for the MPP sticker, Inshaeso MP, then CEO of Maslow, as PW1, to go to court and go and say that, no, it is not true.
Yeah.
That the money was used for its intended purpose. Page 81 and 82, read the judgment.
Very well.
They are very angry when we tell them to read the judgment. And do you know why they are angry when we tell them to read the judgment?
Why?
Oh, they know very well that. They know, of course, you have read it. You have read, but your colleagues in the New Patriotic Party get very angry when you say read the judgment. And I don't know why they get angry. Because on what basis would you be able to make a commentary on a judgment you have not read? But they are angry when we say read the judgment because of these things. They know very well that if you tell the average Ghanaian that as a politician, because you see, and the politicians, we should be careful.
Julius, your time is up.
Please, he spoke for 18 minutes. I'm on my 14th minute.
Julius, I'm the one buried at time. You started at 24, it's 42.
Let me summarize. They go, and as politicians, we should be careful if we start, because you know why? The public has a perception that all politicians are involved in one shady thing or the other. That is what they think. Okay? And if I pick him as a politician, and I decide that because the public already has that perception, let me go and tell them things that make him look like the devil itself. It is easy to make the public believe that.
Yeah.
They also know that that same public is a reasoning public. And so when the facts are before them, for them to analyze whether or not he indeed did the evil things we said he has done. That reason public will say, but if these are the things you are saying, then it is not true. So they are angry when we tell the public that read the facts. They are angry when we tell them to read the facts. What they did to Madam Sedinam Tameklo should not happen to anybody.
Okay.
Especially when their own people stick out went to court.
Okay.
To go and say that she did not do it.
The point is well made.
We should be very, very, very careful with the
Very
things we are
careful,
doing in the name of politics. We should be very careful.
Yes, it's quick,
We should
very,
be
very brief.
careful.
Mr. Dantua, you have the floor.
We've gone through. we've gone through a lecture by a law lecturer. We've gone through the courts by a defense lawyer.
Mine was purely legal.
I wouldn't place myself in any of the two.
Right.
But this case, the initial reaction pivoted on politics and the judiciary. And the initial reaction was a huge sin has been caused for what the appeal court's results came out to be.
Yeah.
Till everybody started backtracking to read the evidence from the appeals court in terms of their verdict. But, Kodjo, one thing, and I'm going to be very simplistic, one thing that crossed my mind, I took it from Echo Russell versus the Republic, which Akamba, JSC, had said. And he quoted, and this is where my thoughts were. Mm-hmm. And I quote, he said, "The strength of our criminal justice system over the years has not thrived on mere wishes and speculation, but by the production of evidence that meets the standard of proof of crime in a court of justice." So I asked myself, what are the main legal pillars of criminal guilt? Simple. Actus rea, which is what? A guilty act.
Yeah.
Mens rea, which is a guilty mind. Causation that should be proven beyond reasonable doubt. So when you take these pillars and you look at the offenses listed, did these pillars support the offenses? And if these pillars didn't support the offenses, hence the result from the appeal court. So it goes to show, unfortunately, the shoddy work that was done more from a political angle than from a judicial angle. Because it looked as if the MPP were in a hurry to prosecute a corruption case by the past NDC government, from the way we have seen how this judgment went. Now, I don't want to go and now look at this one said this one said that, this one said this. The Attorney General has done what? Put a stay of execution and is going to the Supreme Court. Don't let us try and prejudge what the Supreme Court should do. Don't let us do that. Let's leave this case to them and let's see what results will come out. It's simple. I'm not sure whether the stay, probably either of you can tell me.
It was,
the stay
was adjourned.
it was
was
not-
adjourned.
okay.
It was not heard.
Okay.
No, it was adjourned.
So she's still in.
That's I don't know.
I don't know how because the
But
stay that the
I think
Attorney
that's
General was
unlawful.
looking
Honestly,
for
the stay
was not
itself,
granted.
Yes.
I
They
had
could not-
issues with the stay as to whether an acquittal could be stayed.
If
That's a bit-
well, what did the court say?
The court did not hear.
no, they said
The court did not
couldn't
hear.
hear it
But
before they
what
went
was
to
the
the
verdict of the court in the appeal?
acquittal and discharge.
And what does that mean?
She must
Must
go
go
home.
home.
Exactly.
She must go home.
It's neither here nor there whether
That
the court
procedure,
the court heard it, the stay of execution or not. This is what the court has said. She must go home. Based on what the Supreme Court says, then we'll take it from there. The Supreme Court can come back and say whatever the appeal court said, they probably need to try the case, or they would agree with the appeal court as a mossa. Now, I asked the question on another channel, and this is where, as politicians, we should be very careful with cases in court. When such things happen, let's leave it to the court. Don't let us bring the politics inside. I asked the question, if GHOne to me is given a same situation like this, what will the opposition say? Will they clap? Will they say, yeah,
he's acquitted and discharged.
yes? Will they clap with his appeal? Will they clap and say, yeah, that's the right thing? Or will they question in it? So as politicians, we need to be very, very careful. I tried as much as possible to stay away from the politics and go deep down into what the court had done. So for me, there's not much to say on it.
Yeah.
It's going to the Supreme Court, isn't it? Let's see what happens there.
Okay. Well, Counsel, briefly,
Yes.
reactions to this briefly
Yes,
so that we can
just
move on
briefly.
to other topics.
It was the repeated mention of Godfrey Dami's name by my brother here.
Oh, why? But he said of Attorney General.
I just want to put on record that
Yes.
if he's mentioning his name as someone the back stops with, that is not an issue because he was the head of the unit at the time.
Yes.
But he was not in personal conduct of the case.
But it was
So
his
he
job.
was.
Oh.
He
It was his job
no,
to
relax,
monitor and
relax.
ensure.
So he will come
No,
back.
relax.
The lawyer will come back to chambers and sit with him.
You know how prosecution works in this country. And you know there's a DPP unit
Yes.
and there's the AG. If you look at their record from the High Courts, the name of the judge, the lawyers who did it is there.
But
So
it's
when you
material, because
wait,
they
no,
must
it is
report
material.
to- they
When-
must report
when
He's the
to their
minister,
boss.
he's the
No,
minister of Justice,
he's
isn't
the
he?
minister-
So that is what I'm saying. That
Yes.
he should be quick to add that he's mentioning his name because the back stops with him.
Of course,
He
of
should
course.
not
This is
create
his job.
everybody knows the back
with
stops
him.
with him.
He should not create the impression as if he was
No,
personal
no,
conduct.
no, no,
This is
no,
his
no,
job.
no, the back
Yes,
stops with
Article
him.
88, Article
In this-
88 gave that job to him and him
Okay.
alone.
Yeah, so
Right,
that
yes,
clarity.
right.
Then
Him alone.
the second, that clarity is there. So
Yes.
it is just because the back stops with him. Then the second issue is that, you see...
And
the
is that a
case-
good thing or a bad thing?
I won't answer.
No, Counsel, you should. I think you should. You should.
The second issue is that Mr. Janto actually nailed it.
Yes.
That the case is evolving. All these things we have said, it lies with the Supreme Court to bring finality.
Sure.
So we will patiently wait for
Yes.
the Supreme Court.
Right.
Just that.
Is there an intention?
Just that.
Is there an act?
I will urge the learned Attorney General to really pursue this matter.
Okay.
Not for political expediency, but even for legal education.
Okay. Right.
No, but you know, 'cause
Yes.
you know what lawyers are saying. This case has risen the bar for prosecution.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It will give
Risen the
direction,
bar,
honestly.
yes. Risen the bar for, and you know, if you're a lawyer who does prosecution, you should be very mindful. And I think it's a good
It's
thing.
a good thing.
Yeah,
It has helped his cause in lecturing
Oh yeah,
students.
it's good. I
very
have taken a
interesting.
good look at
Okay.
it. And
Now, Julius, I'll give the final word to you on this. So we move on.
Well, I am not a lawyer, so I'm unable to tell whether it has raised the
Oh, you
bar
are
or not
not?
because I've not prosecuted before.
Ah.
But what I can say, what I can say
Yeah.
is that in my learning of the law,
I
the very basics, like if you have the opportunity to bring a regional officer of mass law to directly testify to what they know instead of hearsay. I don't think that
No,
is
Julius, that's for
I
that
don't
one,
think I don't think that is a
They
so
had their
high.
reason. They had their
Julius,
reasons.
they have
That's
their
so
reasons.
high.
That
Well,
is reasons
at a
why.
point,
I know
we're
they
told
may be
that
unable to
the
get them,
85,000
but you
people, they
don't
didn't
want to go
get
with
their
the-
phone
No,
numbers
Julius,
to reach
as
out
for
to them.
litigation,
Yeah.
one thing you could learn and probably learn quickly is strategy. Everybody goes into litigation or prosecution with a strategy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
But
work.
if the strategy, if the
but-
strategy
but-
defines an obvious rule,
If it doesn't work,
if the strategy
it's a
defines
problem.
an obvious rule
But
like
the
this, it
issue
becomes
is that
problematic.
in evaluation of evidence, it is highly subjective. You see, this file, if I give it to you to evaluate it, same color,
We
Mr.
come to different conclusions.
Yes, that is why, as for evaluation of evidence, I didn't want to go there.
Right.
Because somebody will see black and will convince somebody to say it's white.
But most importantly, you should be able to do your investigation to the last point.
That one, I agree with you.
To the last point, to make
Dot
sure
all the I's,
dot
cross all the
cross
T's,
all
make
the
sure that there are no
T's.
loopholes.
And
But
for-
the
and
other
having
thing-
your own
the-
witnesses contradict you and all
The
of
other
those
thing,
things.
the other
Yeah, they are
thing,
not
the
high
other
thresholds
thing
the
that
way I
this
see
case has also
not.
exposed
Yes.
is the fact that holding cases in absentia can create problems. Because at the time this case was going on, if Sednam was here and she was in the dock, certain questions could be asked her, and even her demeanor would be able to tell whether she's speaking the truth or
Now, who
she's
do you blame
doing
for
right.
that, Mr. Gentleman? Who do you blame for that?
They gave her the chance to go.
They shouldn't.
They gave her the chance to go, but you're not
right.
complaining.
So-
and you
so-
see,
yes,
this is where the Attorney General, when it came to oral, he said he's not ready to rush to court because he needs to make sure that when he brings a case to court, he's going to win.
Tight.
Criminal
Absolutely.
prosecution is
Well,
not
we'll,
a
we'll
joke.
definitely continue this conversation in coming days. I believe strongly that even on social media, most of you are going to still have bites at this. But then yesterday, we saw that release from the presidency announcing that, listen, in order to cushion Ghanaians, in order to ensure that we are not paying too much at the fuel pumps due to what is happening on the international markets, the president has directed that 2 cities be taken off a liter, the price of a liter of diesel, because now it was hovering around 19 cities. So it's come down to 17, 16 cities, depending on the oil marketing company or the OMC you're using. And some say, well, this is welcoming news. And the intent, according to the statement from the presidency, is that this is supposed to prevent any form of upward adjustment
To cushion.
of basically transport fares. But some transport unions say, Ethiopia. Let me start with you, Kwame Julius, on this particular one. The cushioning from government and the reaction it's gathered so far. Briefly.
I think that the important thing to note, as I always say on 4 issues, is to consider all the factors that contribute to the pricing of fuel at the pump. And I have always emphasized that the world market price of crude would always be a strong determining factor. If it goes high, things will go high. I've often said that our own fiscal policy, the taxes that may be on our fuel, and the margins that we put on them to achieve one purpose or the other, uniform pricing, margins and all of those things, also play a role in all that. The important thing is that the state is able to control the elements which objectively are within its domain.
Okay.
When you take the elements which are objectively within the domain of our state, I forgot to add that exchange rate plays a significant role because you have to import, the petroleum product. And so if your exchange rate is higher, then the dollar denomination invariably means that the price at the pump would also be higher. What have our states done so far to ensure that despite the scaling up of price on the world market stage, we are having a relatively lower, price of fuel at the pump. In Kenya, people are demonstrating because they can't get the fuel to buy. In most other countries, people are in queues. Even in the United States, prices of fuel is high. But what have we done to make sure that we don't have that situation where people are in queues, people are struggling to get it, and then there are demonstrations all over? We have managed our exchange rate very well. As of 28 February 2026, before the war broke out in Iran, coalition forces of the United States and Israel, launched some strikes on Iran, which, controls the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah.
A ton of diesel was selling at $694 per barrel. As of today, it has doubled to $1,300 per barrel. What that implies is that the price of petroleum products, if our exchange rate remained at what we inherited, should have doubled, which would mean that we would have been buying diesel at the pump at 30 cedis. But are we buying diesel at the pump at 30 cedis? Do you know why? The exchange rate improved. In Ghana, exchange rate improving is a misnomer. What you expect is depreciation. But the management of President John Dramani Mahama and Dr. Keselato Force and Finance Minister has been able to, for the first time, sustain an appreciation of the cedi. We did over 40% against the dollar at the inception of the administration. That is how we are able to keep the prices from doubling.
Right.
You will recall that under the New Patriotic Party administration, it went all the way to 23 cedis because they could not control the exchange rate. There's a video. It's unfortunate that I could not give it to your producer because I don't think you would agree to play a video from your sister stations. Where President Akufo-Addo, TV3, reported on that. President Akufo-Addo was saying, in fact, for our purposes, I may even play it so that the audience may hear the audio. Oh, no. Why no, Council? Why no?
You are commending your president nicely.
No, I want Ghanaians must understand. They must get the perspectives. Then President Akufo-Addo was asked by the TUC, was asked by transport unions to make an intervention by absorbing components of the cost so that fuel prices will reduce. President Akufo-Addo then said that because he has wages to pay, wages and salaries to pay, he is unable to do that reduction. And at the time, President Akufo-Addo was quoting 31.7 billion Ghana cedis in wages and salaries that he has to pay. And for that matter, he's unable to do that intervention for Ghanaians. Today, President Mahama is paying wages and salaries at 48.8 billion Ghana cedis. But do you know what President Mahama did? Aside managing the larger economy and the exchange rate better than what they did, getting our city to appreciate, to give a stronger fight against these elements like fuel price. Do you know what President Mahama did? President Mahama announced yesterday, as you well know, that government is going to absorb 2 cedis per liter of fuel.
Right.
And it's significant.
Right.
If you hear 2 cedis, you think it's per liter, per every liter of fuel.
Right.
And that is strategic.
Okay.
Because we understand that diesel is what most commercial transport users
Absolutely.
use.
The trotros.
And an increase in the price of diesel would invariably increase the transport cost, which invariably would increase the cost of other goods and services. So President Mahama has intervened again. So I would say that when it comes to the government of the National Democratic Congress, we have done 2 significant interventions to deal with the price of fuel. One is our intervention with the exchange rate, which if it was at their rate, the 14.7 they left, would have sent, diesel to 30 Ghana cedis and above.
And the second one?
We did that intervention. The second intervention is the absorption of the 2 Ghana cedis per liter, which I think that anyone who is fair-minded and willing to accept when governance is delivering on its promises to the people to bring reprieve in times of chaos would commend the president and those managing our petroleum regime, like lawyer Dujitameklo, for the good work there.
Mr. Antwa.
I think President Mahama has shown the listening ear, especially where petroleum is concerned. Whether that listening ear and the amounts that have been reduced is enough to support people who use fuel in terms of the reductions is another question. But for me, he has gone further and he's trying to secure, especially where fuel is concerned, a situation where we won't have capital flight like we have capital flight today in terms of the import of what? Refined petroleum products. He's given percentages of GMPC's crude to the two refineries we have now, Centio and Tor. And I commend him for bringing Tor back. Past governments haven't been able to do it all the way through this Fourth Republic. He has come in and he's been able to bring Tor back. Tor has actually, taken on more petroleum engineers, was it yesterday?
Yeah, over 300.
Yes, over 300, which is a good thing. So I commend him for that. I would want him to go a step further, to look at the taxes and levies per litre on fuel. Now, some of these taxes and levies probably have outlived their stay. Road fund levy, that is still important because we need that levy to do certain maintenances on our roads. Energy fund levy. What's the energy fund levy? What is it supposed to do? I think this is a point where with the levies, we actually describe, MPs should come and describe exactly what they do for people to assess and see how it contributes. Price stabilization and recovery levy. So this levy is supposed to stabilize the prices. I'm not sure, at the time of the MPP, it was 0 pesos. They didn't charge anything for that. What is the figure now? I'm sure the figures have changed. That's why I'm not mentioning it. I don't have it here.
Right.
So I don't want to, Then sanitation and pollution levy. Why should that be within the price build-up? When really and truly, these monies that have been collected, in their time it was 10 pesos. These monies that have been collected, having been used for sanitation and pollution. These few rains that happened on the 28th, 29th of June, look at what happened. Look at what we saw. The filth and the dirt. Should this be part of that build-up? Then you have special petroleum tax. What's that for? Special petroleum tax on what? You have the boss margin. The boss margin, I think the president has scrapped it. So it's difficult. It could be difficult for boss because at the time it was 9 pesos. They were using it also for their own, which helped. But it's been scrapped because the president feels it's outdated. Then you have the fuel margin, which was 5 pesos in their time. That one, I guess, is what Kwame is talking about in terms of the market margin. And the most biggest of the lot is the UPPF. That's about 45 pesos, which is used to pay transporters and all that kind of stuff. So I think we should go a step further and look at the price build-up. Those bits in there that are not, anymore. Let's just scrap them so that at least we can control. But I believe that once Tor and Centio start manufacturing or refining, it could bring the prices down. You would then say that, okay, there's a balance that you need to look at. And that balance is, if we export our crude, we get foreign exchange. Compared to if we refine, will we be able to sell at reduced prices for Ghanaians? Because it's world market prices.
Sure.
It depends on the cost that is used. But remember, Tor is a tolling establishment. They toll for companies. So anybody can bring crude in and they would toll for them. They would manufacture on their behalf. But I'm not sure whether the oil that is coming from GMPC, whether it's tolling or it is meant to be manufactured for Ghanaians. And I think it's the latter, where it would cushion Ghanaians. But to end, I think the good thing about it is that Tor now can even export refined petroleum products into the sub-region and earn foreign exchange. The sustainability of it is where the question is.
Always.
Where if we can have the wherewithal in terms of Tor making sure that whatever money comes in is invested well into the refinery and the refinery expands, is the benefit of all. Can you imagine if we had gone according to what Boakye Jaako wanted to do in terms of selling tar and making it tank farms? We wouldn't have this particular situation now where we have 2 refineries in Ghana. Yes, one is foreign, but we have our own 2 working.
Right.
So for me, the cost build-up is something that we should look at.
All right, Kwame, that's the final one.
Yes. You know, the MPP as a party has always maintained its reputation of commending government when it has to, unlike my brothers, where even if the thing is good, they will find issues with it. The 2 cities reduction is welcoming. It's very much welcoming because especially because it's on diesel. Diesel has a lot of commercial usage, especially for those of us who have people who patronize the commercial vehicle, the church and all that. So it is a welcoming news. It will cushion the Ghanaian. My only issue is its nature of being reactionary. Okay, so now the president has intervened. For the next 1 month, we are going to have this cushion. What will happen after the 1 month? So I am only suggesting that, you know, I have had some stints with these OMCs and all that. The major language in their operations in this oil business is predictability. If they're able to predict the market, it helps their businesses. So this intervention, is it going to stay? Is it going to be institutionalized such that the OMC people will know that at every point when there's a surge, there should be some intervention from president? See, that is my only issue with it. So if it is something we really welcome as a party, because why? Are we not Ghanaians? If 2 cities is going to be reduced, why should we even speak against it?
Right.
But as to the predictability of it, so is it that at any point that oil prices hit a certain level, the president will come in to intervene, or just a reactionary? Then the second issue is at what cost? You know, what the energy sector players, they fear most is taxes. And they know very well that some of these interventions will later come in the form of taxes. So the cost of such intervention should be known. There should be some actuarial analysis of all these interventions by the president so that it may not come in a disguised form as a tax later to industry players. So that is all I'll say.
Right, and we are really out of time. My directors are on my neck for us to go, but I want us 30 seconds. Miracles, Abuaje. We're told that now some property and bank accounts have been frozen. Property has been seized as Yoko continues investigations.
Well, you said we don't have time.
We don't have time, so 30 seconds.
So what I will say to our supporters and people who sympathize with Miracle is that these things are procedural. It does not go to confirm or prove the guilt of Miracles. You know, when investigations are ongoing, it is procedural. It is sometimes expected as part of the ongoing investigations, certain actions are done, and it includes the freezing. You can actually even go to court and have the order reversed. So it does not speak to the guilt of Miracles, Abuaji. So let it not be said, or let that painting let it not be painted as if because his assets, bank accounts have been frozen, then he's guilty of the offense. I have known Miracle for a very long time. I would vouch for his integrity any day. My only worry is the sort of inconsistencies in the figures. Because you remember when he was arrested, it was 55 million, which was put out there. He came to disprove it. But the current charges, I don't think they amount to 55, because as I saw, it was a 5 point something, a 19, and a 4. I'm not sure that is 55. So, patriots, the mere freezing of assets of our brother Miracle does not speak to his guilt. It is only procedural, and in the course of time, he'll be vindicated.
Okay. Yes, 30 seconds for you, Julius.
I must begin with the whole figures inconsistency thing. Let's be careful. He's a practicing lawyer. If I am investigating somebody, there will be a scope of the investigation, especially when it comes to financial malfeasance claims. There will be a scope of the investigation, of the amounts that I believe are involved based on facts available to me.
In the criminal
Please,
investigations?
please.
Julius, briefly, because we're out of time.
There will be a scope of the investigation that I am doing. If I'm suspected of misappropriating, say, 55 million Ghana cedis. But if I question the person on, say, 24 million in respect of one transaction, then the person comes to say that, oh, but you said that it's 55 million you are talking about. Why are you questioning me on 25 or 24 million with respect to this transaction? So there's inconsistency. There's no case against me. That's it. In fact, beyond even financial crime scenarios, let's take even murder. If you are being investigated for murder and they later decide to charge you with manslaughter because they could be able to found guilt on that, can you go about saying that, but you said you were charging me for murder, and the person has not even been charged yet.
Okay.
So all these things are immaterial. The last thing I will say, I would want to agree with him on the fundamentals of procedure. I would not claim to know miracles. The few times I encountered him, he's a nice person. Those are matters of his private life. But on the issue of criminality, we should be careful the sort of things we say out there, especially from their side as well. Yes, I agree with him that it is procedural. But if you take the GHOne Act, Sections 33, 34, 35.
Yes, we need to go.
Oh, please. Just let me. Let me. I'll just sum up.
No,
Sections 33, 34, 35.
Yes.
You realize that for the court to affirm a freezing order, there are grounds. And those grounds must be that the investigator is demonstrating that there is a real case to be answered.
Right.
And so if that freezing order has been affirmed by the court and they are all over social media doing, I don't think it is good for miracles. I have absolutely nothing against it. I don't think it is good for miracles when there is a court affirmation and they are behaving like that.
Okay.
So they should let the procedures work.
Right.
A man is guilty, a man is innocent until proven guilty, irrespective of whatever procedures are there. And so far as I'm concerned, at this material point, he is innocent. And for the court to freeze, and I'm not sure whether it was recommended by IOCO to the court.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so if the court to freeze, then that means they are doing what? They are gathering their evidence. It's procedural. So let's see how it goes. But Miracles is my friend. And the only thing I'll say to him is that he should zip up. He should zip up. Because if he doesn't zip up, he's just going to what? Contradict himself. Right. Leave it for his lawyers to handle. Okay. He goes to court and let's see what happens.
Okay.
Simple.
Very well.
So Kodjo, you won't let even allow us to greet
You
people.
okay? Who are you greeting today?
Kodjo, we are your friends. So.
Quite ready. Who are you greeting this morning?
Well, I have a special greetings
Okay.
to a very special person, and I think the person is watching at the moment.
The only special person in your life should be your wife, nobody else.
Mr. Janto. Well, since Mr. Janto has said.
Oh, so you greet your person
yes,
again?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
we are going.
yes.
Right. So, but Julius, they say you should come and apologize. So,
What is it then?
GHOne, they say you should come and apologize for me, but.
Spare me. Spare me.
Oh, you apologize to them?
Spare me the joke.
Oh,
Spare me the joke.
What is the issue?
they've written
Oh,
the statement,
spare
but
me.
you've seen the statement.
Spare me. I've not seen it.
You've not seen the statement.
No,
They say
I've not
you can't say that about Gimpa.
I've not seen it.
So you should come and apologize.
What did he say? What did he say about
I used to
Gimpa?
teach Gimpa. He said something about my
Oh
school.
yeah, the test scores. He says at the point. I think he was reacting to someone that Gimpa accepted the person. After they were rejected by University of Ghana, and they come and make noise on social media.
Don't mind.
They can't make noise on social media. They should mind them. Okay, that's Jesus Christ Anthony.
When you are somebody in the media, you should be very careful what you say.
Yeah.
And come back to bite you.
And these days,
Exactly.
because of the social media.
Yes.
Right. So the three Kwames, Kwame Jantua is a private legal practitioner, member of the CPP. Julius Anthony, he's press secretary for the Ministry of the Interior, and Kwame Oredu, who is he's going for 2028. Yeah, Akwetia seat. He says he's going to Akwetia. Yes, 2028. He's going for
But now our
Akwetia.
MP there is doing very well.
He says that is his junior, so the junior must set aside for the
Exactly.
senior.
Kodjo, you're a prophet.
Your senior is doing
You know what? We'll be right back after this break. staying on with us. This is still Jay today here on GH1 television, but let's bring you health alert. About hepatitis, shall we? And this morning I've been joined in studio by Dr. Louisa Ademkimate. She is a Accra Metro Director of Health Services, and also Eunice John Tia Jagli, who is Greater Accra Regional Health Promotion Manager. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
I hope you're doing very well.
Very well, thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me start with you, Doc. So when we talk about hepatitis, what exactly are we looking at?
Right. Thank you for having us, and it's always a pleasure to engage with the public and talk about health. So hepatitis is inflammation of the liver. And so when we say inflammation, we mean that something has triggered the liver in a way that it's sort of mounting an immune response. So when, for instance, some of the things that can cause that inflammation are alcohol, viruses like hepatitis A all the way to the E, so A, B, C, D, and then we have the E as well. And then we have medicines. There are some medicines that we take that can cause inflammation of the liver.
Right.
And then liver fat. So we have something we call fatty liver that can also cause inflammation of the liver. So that is hepatitis, when the liver is, in quotes, upset because we've put in things that they are not happy with, more or less.
Interesting. And when we talk about hepatitis, I mean, I keep hearing A, B, hepatitis B, hepatitis C.
Right.
What are those alphabets also?
Right, so those are viral hepatitis.
Okay.
So, like I said, there are other things that can cause inflammation of the liver, but the viruses, those are their names. So we have hepatitis A that causes inflammation. It's a virus that can cause an infection in the liver and then cause the liver to inflame as a response. So we have hepatitis A, hepatitis B, C, D, and E, and on and on. So technically, they are just the names of the viruses, and they cause different kinds of inflammation and behave differently.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So let me bring Anthony's into the conversation now. So what's the situation when it comes to our country and where we are when it comes to hepatitis itself?
Yeah, thank you. The situation, one, we know that most often people don't report issues to the facility as expected. So as we try to give a picture of the situation, you can bear with me that it will not be the actual situation on the ground.
Because people don't usually come in and report and test unless they have serious problems.
Even the serious problem, because of the traditional herbs that people resort to, and then the pharmacy, most of them don't report to the facility. So our data may not give the right picture. So it may be just the tip of the iceberg. So for now, we can be talking about over 3 million people in Ghana with hepatitis and B. And when it comes to hepatitis C, talking about some 500,000 people based on the data we have. And being a serious situation that needs attention and knowing how devastating it is from mother to child, there is data also accumulated from the antenatal from our pregnant mothers. And unfortunately, about 8% of our pregnant women have been tested positive of hepatitis.
Wow.
And the fact is, when you look at the numbers and looking at the situation on the ground, about only 1% of the people who even are living with the situation know of their status. So that tells you that the situation is so enormous that we are looking at it.
Right.
So that calls for the need for us to do this sort of engagement to alert people and ensure that we all take it a serious issue
Absolutely.
and test. So one, that we can get the data and plan with. Two, for us to take the needed attention as individual and as a state, because every planning and intervention is based on data.
Sure.
So we need to be very serious about it. If the data is this much, if you look at the 3 million we are talking about a tenth of our population, and that is a serious issue.
Definitely, and this is data that is derived from just the few who even go and test and get to know. But then how do people get a hepatitis B in the first place?
Right. As humans, we interact. It's an infection to begin with. So you must come into contact with blood, body fluids largely. So it's an infection of the blood and body fluid. So if you look at the ones that we are so concerned about, that we are talking about, like hepatitis B and C, hepatitis B is largely gotten from blood and blood products. So for instance, giving you some examples, the commonest way that people get hepatitis B in our settings is mother-to-child transmissions. So when a mother has hepatitis B and it's during the childbirthing process, they can transmit it to their child. And as Ghanaians, the children like to play a lot.
Yeah.
So during the childhood times where they are playing, this one has a cut and a sore here and there, then they mix up the blood on the sores, and then there are fluids and that sort of thing. And then also in hospital settings, because I said it's blood, so it means anything that has to do with blood. So maybe a healthcare worker can't just get infected blood in their eyes, in their bodies, and in some way, and even needle sticks. And then we also culturally do some things. For instance, scarifications. Now it's not even so common, but now the common thing is tattooing.
Yeah.
And sometimes the tattoos are not done hygienically under sterile conditions. Some of the other things, like in our parlance, wanzam, where people go to just unauthorized places, get circumcisions done, or even share razors and blades and things like that. So anything that will expose you to blood and blood products can expose you to getting hepatitis.
Can I get it from sex?
Well, with hepatitis B, yes, there is the small chance of you getting. It's not the commonest way to get hepatitis B, but then hepatitis B, you can get it from sex, but not with hepatitis C.
Interesting. And how do I know that? Are there signs that show that I could have hepatitis?
Right. We have symptomatic persons and non-symptomatic persons. The interesting thing with hepatitis is that people can have hepatitis and live with it for a very long time and be feeling well. So those are some of the myths. People think that if I'm feeling healthy, then I don't have the disease. But you can have hepatitis B and C and be very fine. So the asymptomatic people are there. But when the symptoms start, it means that the liver is getting inflamed, and then you are having some complications coming along. So once that starts, people complain about always being tired, feeling weak, nausea, vomiting. These are very common symptoms that you hear. I'm just feeling tired. It's malaria. Then they don't take care of themselves, and then it takes a long time. So constitutional symptoms, nausea, vomiting, headache, feeling tired. When it becomes worse, you see the yellowing of the eyes, which we call jaundice. And then you can have some pain and swelling in the abdomen when the liver becomes inflamed and bigger. Yeah. And then the swellings can also go to the legs and then the arms and that sort of thing. And then worst case scenarios, you can have big complications where people's urines become dark. Dark colored urine, they pass dark colored urine, their stools become whitish and pale. Those are like when you are getting very far off and that sort of thing.
So the key thing is that we need to test and get to know.
Yes.
Because when we get to know, then we can learn to manage. But Eunice, let me come to you in terms of the opportunities that are available, in terms of prevention and even managing hepatitis.
Thank you. The opportunities, one, every facility, government, private, has what it takes to do screening.
Okay.
There are people or groups who are also doing screening in either workplaces or communities to help early detection, because early detection is the key. Either you are diagnosed of having symptoms or you don't have, and the interventions comes in to help you. So if the screening comes and you are negative, you have the opportunity of taking vaccine, because the best way for hepatitis B is to vaccinate against it, so you can be well prepared with the immunity you need to fight in case you are exposed. Don't forget, most of the people who had the hepatitis virus or whatever, the body has the tendency of fighting for some time before, if it is overpowered, the symptoms will begin to show.
Right.
So if you are vaccinated, you have the opportunity to develop the antibodies that helps you to fight. Now, we have organizations that are also helping to ensure that we get treatment at half cost and so on and so forth. All the regional hospitals have been well equipped to provide some support for both the hepatitis B and C.
Right.
In the first place, I want to make it clear that for hepatitis B, it's not treatable. You cannot treat hepatitis B. You can manage the situation.
Yeah.
So early detection helps you to put in the help of managing the symptoms and the conditions for the person to get better. However, we have vaccine for children. So for children born within certain times, they have received vaccination at 6 months, at 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and 14 weeks. So when we talk about people going to the weighing, it is of a paramount interest for the well-being of the children we are having. So that is an opportunity available to all parents who are having children to make sure their children are vaccinated at this early age.
Right.
And for for hepatitis C, we have treatment for it now.
Okay.
So it is good to report and get the best of treatment for that. And now the country is also trying to introduce vaccine for children for the hepatitis. I don't know why I'm calling vitamin today, for hepatitis C as well.
Okay.
And we want people to know that there is treatment for hepatitis C. So the need for them to report is very important. The symptoms that Dr. Marty talked about, you know, I always draw attention.
Briefly, because we need to go.
Yes.
Yes.
I always draw attention to the fact that most of these symptoms can cut across a lot of health conditions. So you don't say they have said this, so you sit home and determine what you should do. The best way to determine is to go to the health facility for thorough screening. So when we go and they ask us to go to the lab, we shouldn't be in a haste. And if you go today and the test did not show this, it doesn't mean when you go and the symptoms are still persistent, you shouldn't come back. Other tests could be run to determine what exactly the situation.
So the key thing is that no matter what, just get to the health facility and get tested. Get to know. It's better to know. Doc, I'll give you the final word on the show so we close this morning. What will be your final word to people of Ghana?
That hepatitis is one of the leading causes of cancer death in Ghana. So liver cancer is one of the leading causes of cancer death in Ghana. It is preventable.
Right.
You don't have to wait, get the symptoms later, and then come and find out that you have cancer. Cancer is long, late overdue. So let's test, let's know the status, let's take the vaccines, and then if it's hepatitis B, there's cure. Let's get the cure in any of the regional hospitals or the teaching hospitals, and then live our lives peacefully. With the hepatitis B, it is bearable, we can manage it, and then prevent the long-term devastation of liver cancer, so that we can all have a very happy, long life.
It's very important that we have happy, long lives. And thank you so much for coming through to do this education this morning. Very, very important. Dr. Louisa Demki Mate is Accra Metro Director of Health Services, and she is here with Eunice John Tia Jagli, who is Greater Accra Regional Health Promotion Manager, talking to us about hepatitis. Go get tested. It's good to know early, because early detection, they say, always saves lives. Well, we're back shortly after this break with more in terms of health. Stay with us. That's the still GA today here on GH1 television, and I promised you we're going to have a conversation still in health, and this has to do with Physio First. I'm sure you're asking, what is happening? Well, we'll tell you and give you all the 411 and all that you need to know as well. And I've been joined in studio by Quinsta Ando. She's president of the University of Ghana Association of Physiotherapy Students. Abubakari Sadiq is vice president of the association, and Yao Kranting Ofedako, who is a physiotherapist. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
I hope you're doing very well.
We are doing great.
Nice one. I like the smiles on your face. It's just Abubakar who is just giving me some, you know. But talking about Physio First, Quinsta, what's it all about?
So it's a week planned activity, so like the whole week from Monday to Saturday.
Okay.
Monday, yesterday we had the lunch where we had Dr. Alberta Imisanyako. Yeah, she came to give a talk with our chairperson, meaning Dr. Tawagidu Mohammed. And then Tuesday, today, is our media visitation so that we come and make some announcements about the whole week itself and then our physiotherapist's role in Burns as well. Right. And then Wednesday, we do our outreach and donation to the Burns department, the pediatric Burns department at Kwelebu. Thursday, we have our interlevel quiz. Friday, we are doing a little old school day. Then Saturday, our day out for a little fun session for the students.
Fantastic. So it's a week-long celebration. Yeah. Right. And when we talk about physiotherapy, let me come to you. What is physiotherapy for those who might not have a full appreciation of what that entails?
Okay, thank you very much. So physiotherapy, it's a healthcare profession that mainly deals with movement disorders. So whenever you have difficulty with any form of movement of any part of your body, the physiotherapists are the experts in movement. So they deal with all kinds of conditions, right from pediatrics all the way to the elderly or to the geriatrics. So we see all kinds of illness that causes a disorder or difficulty with movement. So basically, that's what physiotherapists do.
Fantastic. Yeah. And she mentioned burns. So what role do physiotherapists play when it comes to issues of burns as well?
Great. So with the management of burns, it involves the multidisciplinary team. When I say the multidisciplinary team, we talk about the doctors, the burn nurses, the physiotherapists, occupational therapists, pharmacists, and a whole lot of other healthcare professionals. So the physiotherapist role starts even at the acute stage. The acute stage is when the patient is on admission in the hospital. So that's where physiotherapy starts. We start with helping them to move in and out of bed, helping them to move their joints in order to prevent their joints from getting stiff and other complications that can arise from not moving. So,
right. Yeah. Quite exciting. But let me come to you, Abubakar. So when it comes to PhysioFest 2026, is this the first time you are organizing this, or perhaps you've seen other episodes?
Oh, thank you very much. This is not the first time we've been organizing PhysioFest, but this is our own time doing the PhysioFest. So last year it was on sports, and this year our theme is on healing beyond the scars and promoting burn rehabilitation in Ghana. So we chose this theme because when we were at the clinicals, doing our clinical rotation, we realized that when people get this burn injury, the approach at which that the first aid for the burn is actually not the right thing that they are supposed to do. So you get some people saying that, oh, when the hot water poured on my body, I broke an egg, I poured powder, I used oil and all those things. And that's not the right thing to do, actually. So when you get a burn, you can get it from different causes. We have the frictional burn, we have the one by hot objects, like coming in contact with objects and that. So when you get a burn, the first thing to do is to remove the person from the source of the burn.
Right.
Get it. So after that, you remove the person from there. So if it's electrical burn, you try to break the connection between the naked wire and the person.
Yes.
And if it is hot objects or hot liquid, you try to pour a cold running water, not a cold water, not cold, room temperature,
right,
for 20 minutes on that part. And after that, you would want to remove the dress or any wristwatch or rings that is on the person's body. And after that, you also cover the person with a clean cloth. And after that, you send the person to the hospital.
So no nkuto?
No nkuto. Nkuto actually, it traps the heat inside the body and causes more damage to the tissues in the body. Do you get it?
Then we've been doing a lot of things wrong.
Yeah.
And we don't know. Why haven't you been coming to tell us these days? So it's very important that we get this practical knowledge as to how to handle issues like this. And so during the course of this week, we are going to have this knowledge as well?
Yes.
Fantastic.
So for the outreach tomorrow, that's what we are going to broadcast, especially that you put them under running water, room temperature, as I said, not cold water. And you avoid the toothpaste, the charcoals, and put in apply sand on the person, when the person gets the burn, all of that. Some people even use the gentle violets.
Yeah,
Yes.
gentle violet, yes.
At the beginning, pour running water and make sure you take the person to the hospital as soon as you can.
Right. Well, what are the dangers in using these things that you talked about instead of going the 20 minutes water running thing? I mean, I'm hearing for the first time, sorry. Yes, let me come to you, Yao.
Okay. So these things should not be done because, one, they can introduce foreign materials and can even bring about infection.
Okay.
And once the wound gets infected too, it brings about a whole lot of other complications. So these things are not to be done. Some people even apply cow dung and Pepsodent and all these things, but these things are not to be done. Whenever the person suffers the burn wound, the first thing, just as my colleague said, you pour the water on the person for about 20 minutes. This is because maybe outwardly you will not see the wound on the person, but inwards the tissues have been hit.
Someone is asking, what if the person lives in Teshi and there is scarcity of water? 20 minutes pouring water. The whole water in the house is gone. So can I do 10 minutes? Well, still 20 now.
So 20 minutes is ideal because 10 minutes will be under. And so 20 minutes is ideal.
So Charlie, you better call your neighbors and tell them to bring you water because your life is more important.
Yes.
Right.
So the water will help to cool the body. Although physically you will not see the heat, you will not see the fire on the person, but inwardly the tissues have been warmed up and the heat is still cooking the body. So you need to continually put the person under the running water to help.
So is it the entire body of the person or where the burn happened?
Okay, so where the burn has happened. Yes.
Okay. Right, the source of the heat going through the body. All right, so Queensta, run me through again the program from tomorrow and why physio students should be really excited about this particular week.
So particularly tomorrow, we have the outreach and donation. So the outreach, we are going to Tema Station. We're going to educate the market women, people, passerbys, all about physiotherapy in burns and first aid in burns.
Right.
And then we will do the donation to the pediatric burns at Kolebu. And then Thursday, we have the interlevel quiz. We want the students to come and show who is boss in the whole physiotherapy, whether you're in level 100, 200, 300, or 400. You can come and show the 400s that, yeah, you are the boss in the quiz. And on Friday, we want to do the old school day. So the students, the stress in old school.
Saturday,
and Saturday, yes, we are going to the sea resort. Yes.
Am I invited?
Yes, you are invited.
Okay. So, Abubakar, I'll give the final word. Speak to your students. Final word as well on the show this morning.
Okay. So please, all the physiotherapy students out there, we want to you to come on Saturday and come and enjoy and have fun. And also the donations to the pediatric units at Kolebu, we want you to bring things so that we could also help the children to, get better.
Okay. Well, very well. Thank you so much. That's Abubakar Sadiq. He's Vice President of the University of Ghana Association of Physiotherapy Students. And he was here with their president, Queensta Andor. And, of course, physiotherapist Yao Cranton of Feda, who says 20 minutes ideal for the water. Let the water flow for 20 minutes. Thank you so much for coming. I wish you the very best, and we'll see you definitely as well. Well, we'll take a breather. We have more for you after this break. Kindly stay with us. Into this next conversation, we're about to tell you about an upcoming conference and why you and I should be very interested in this particular conference. And I have my guest in studio, Hajia Amina Dean Ibrahim, who is Welfare Coordinator, Tema West Municipal Education Directorate, and she's the founder and national president for Muslim Women in Teaching Ghana. And she's here with Hajia Anatu Adam Idris, Guidance and Counseling Coordinator for Greater Accra Islamic Education Units and Greater Accra Regional President for Muslim Women in Teaching. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely nice to have you this morning.
Thank
So let me start with you. When you talk about Muslim Women in Teaching Ghana, what is the group all about?
Okay, when you talk about Muslim women in teaching, we are a group of female Muslim teachers, or let me say, all female Muslim teachers in Ghana, ranging from lecturers, in secondary school teachers, basic school, up to KG teachers, coming together as one body to help the youth. And let me use our Muslim girls especially, because you and me know that they are always at a disadvantaged stage. So we are helping them, but not only them, but we are not religious discrimination. So both Christian and Muslim youth, we are helping them, but our much concentration is on the Muslim girls, yeah. And we are nationwide. We have it in all the 16 regions. It started from Greater Accra, but now we have it in all the 16 regions. And as part of our activities, we have set a fashion center with the help of Turkey Embassy at La Paz, which we are training the vulnerables who couldn't get money to go for. Maybe they have the interest in fashion, but they don't have money to go. We are training them for free. And also we have IT too, so we train them both in fashion and IT, so that when you come out, you are not only fashion designer, but you can also be innovative online, so your things put it online.
Pretty holistic.
That's it.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
So you say you are across all the 10 regions in the country.
Yeah.
Oh, the 16. Hey,
16.
what am I so... But talking about the fact that, yes, she mentioned that Muslim girls, students are at a certain disadvantage, and we all are aware. But has it improved over the years in terms of how their access and acceptability when it comes to even the secular education system?
Okay, thank you very much, and good morning to you and our esteemed viewers. Yes, talking about accessibility, we think that, yes, there has been a massive improvement.
Right.
And then also, in the Zongo communities, I, like the guidance and counseling coordinator, I work with school children. I'm at the basic level. Oftentimes, you go to schools, teachers will be giving you complaints. Children are in school, especially the girls, along the line, they take them out of class for marriages here and there. So with Muslim women teaching and then the guidance and counseling, we realize that the dropout rate for early marriage has dropped.
Okay. Okay. So there's been some improvements there as compared to what used to persist, because now we've come to realize that we've been doing terribly when it comes to how we are treating our Muslim girls. But what are some of the barriers that even Muslim teachers face, like women teachers especially?
Okay, the barriers, there are many, but I will just mention a few.
Right.
So when you talk of barriers, for example, you are a Muslim, female Muslim teacher, and by all means, our way of dressing is different from the other sect. But when you go to certain schools, or when you are posted to a place, a head teacher can even tell you, my school, don't put on veil. For example, recently, my daughter, who is in university, I got her one private school to be teaching, and then yesterday, I saw her wearing trousers with a top exposing her body. And she too, she have shape. If you see me, look at my photocopy. So I told Aisha, you are supposed to wear straight dress. I said, no, Mommy, the school that time when the proprietor said I shouldn't wear straight dress, I should only be wearing trousers and top, which is against it's not against, but trousers and top, you have to cover it. But that is their norm there. So he said he shouldn't wear. It means they are preventing her from practicing her Islam. So if I look at it and it will not have, then I have to let her stop the the work and be at home because it's against that. So this is one of the barriers, not only here, but that is what is happening in most of our schools. Had it not now the early intervention or some intervention that have reduced this veil, even we, the government school teachers, you get a teacher going to school and then especially the unit schools, they will tell you that, no, this way you can't cover your hair, you have to remove your veil, you can only put on the kuba, you cannot put this thing on it. It's happening a lot. So it is a lot of things that we are facing in our schools. When you get to month of Ramadan like this, somebody is fasting, the person is using to work. At least there should be some consideration, but no. Whatever you are supposed to do as a normal, I use the normal quote unquote, you too, that is the same assignment they will give it to you without considering that, oh, you are in the month of Ramadan, you are fasting, so let's consider this. So it's a lot that we are facing, but I can just mention a few. That is it.
Interesting. Now, Hadia, talk to me about the conference that is coming up and why it is extremely important that we pay attention to it.
Yes, Muslim Women in Teaching, every year we come together and have an annual conference. So this year's conference is going to be in GHOne, and it's a must-attend conference because this year's conference is a bit unique. As teachers, we have been empowering our girls in the communities through skills training, like Ajia has said, IT, and also through guidance and counseling. But then we as teachers, we also need some kind of empowerment. So we've come together to empower ourselves on nutrition.
Okay.
And so we are going to have about 4 topics that are going to be discussed at the conference. And you know, you and I know very well our eating habit these days, the kind of the diseases that are happening these days because of lifestyle. So based on that, we have chosen the theme, Nourishing Minds, Building Healthy Futures. And with this, we ourselves are going to empower ourselves through the nutrition. And as teachers too, when we come down, we educate our parents, especially during PTAs. Even though we are not health workers, but during PTAs, we are with the parents. We can also have the opportunity to talk to them about certain healthy habits.
Right.
The kind of meals they should give to their children. We know how important breakfast is, even when it comes to children.
Yes.
You take breakfast before you go to school. I know there are parents who skip that. They don't even give breakfast to children at home. They just give them and go to school. And the child will come, the mind is not nourished, no energy. So it's dull in class.
Right, right. Okay,
so,
Hadia, yes.
to add to what she said, our conference, we started in 2024, sorry, excuse me. And this is the 3rd conference. And GHOne, you are always with us during our conference, and we applaud you for that. Last year, we had it at Ashanti region, not all, and the GHOne was there. And this year, add to what she said about the nutrition. You know, we women, if you, the men, you live or you die, it's true with the women. We prepare the concoction, isn't it? That is it.
That.
We prepare the concoction. So if you empower ourselves, not only in the classroom or not only in the community, but you too, the men, you are going to benefit through your wife. Because your wife is a woman. She too, she'll get this empowerment. And if she don't use it outside, in the home, she'll use it to prepare food for you. So when you come to our zongos, to, you know, though we are teachers, we go to Aure, we go to funeral and other things in our zongos. So in as much as we are teachers, we are going to help the parents and then the school children. We also go to the community. When you go to Aure, we go to Suna and other things, also to talk to the women as well. So we are going to use this nutrition as a dual purpose to help. Last, I heard the gender minister talking about this school feeding program and how they are going to make sure the nutrition level go up. So as teachers, if you go and empower ourselves on this, I think it will go a long way also to help the nation as well.
And I see that you have the Vice President, the special guest of Anna, the Volta Regional Minister, and other key players also coming. So please run us through where it's happening, when, and who can be a part of it.
Okay, it's happening in teachers. You know, we are teachers, so wherever we go, we look for the teachers' hall. That is the NAT hall. So it's happening, we are going to do at NAT hall.
Right.
It's a 3 days program. We are starting from the Friday, Saturday, and the Friday is opening ceremony, then the Saturday, the capacity building and other activities, then the Sunday will be the closing ceremony. Right. You see all these people there because they are women. The men are more know the importance of nutrition. And so they all saw our this and said, no, this thing, we have to be part. The vice president was a teacher and she's still a teacher. So anytime she see where teachers are going, she still want to follow. She's a teacher, she's a woman, so she's always with us. So that's why.
So it's from the 7th to the 9th of August. That's Friday through to Sunday at the Nut Hall in Ho, the Teachers Hall in Ho, the Volta Regional Capital, Oxygen City. Very beautiful place.
That's why we chose the place.
That's why you chose the place. So everybody's invited to be a part of it.
Everybody.
It's open to all. Fantastic. And do they have to pay?
No.
Just come. Just come and learn. Come and network.
Yes.
And meet proper people.
Most sweet, everything is free. Even our fashion center is free. Our capacity.
This weekend, let's go to Ho. So thank you so much for coming. And continue doing the great work that you're doing. So you had that conference happening from the 7th to the 9th of August in the Volta region. The Teachers Hall in Ho is the Muswit 3rd National Conference on Capacity Building 2026. You can't miss it for anything. But hey, today being the 4th of August is the birthday of some wonderful people. So let's wish them a happy birthday on the show this morning. And I will never know what I did to be blessed with such an incredible mother. You are one of a kind and I will never take you for granted. Wishing you the very best birthday yet. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you. And it's coming from Kofi Kwache to Cecilia Oforiwa Nyamiche Frimpong. Happy birthday to you, Mom. And yes, Auntie Philo, happy birthday to you. People often say there is no greater joy for a mother than watching her children grow into adults. But today, I want you to know that we, your children, are equally blessed and grateful to watch you grow older, stronger, and wiser, surrounded by the same love and affection you've always given us. And this is from Officer Max. Your son says he loves you beyond words can actually imagine. So happy birthday to you, Auntie Philo Adai. We appreciate you. And Schoolboy has been disturbing me. He says, Auntie is what? 96-year-old. Hey, Mommy Elizabeth Ekiata is shed. Auntie Ekiata, happy birthday to you. Your son says you are his first love and forever hero. Thanking you for your endless love and support. Wishing the happiest of birthdays to the heart of our family. So happy birthday, and it's from Kweku Schoolboy and all your children. They say they love you and continue protecting them. And God also continue protecting you. 96 looks on you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Audrey Delali at Yogbe. You are 7 years old today. As you celebrate, may the good Lord continue to protect, strengthen, and prosper you. May all your dreams come true and his love never depart from your life. We love you so much, and it's from your lovely parents, Mr. and Mrs. at Yogbe, to you, Audrey. Still on the birthdays, happy first birthday to our little sunshine, Myla Nakua Asifwa. 1 year of giggles, cuddles, and pure joy. May your life always be this sweet. And it's from your mother and your aunties, wishing you the very best of the day. Happy birthday to my man, Justice, a.k.a. K Jazz. God bless your new age, bro, and bless the works of your hand. He is a creative genius. If you see my videos, my reels on social media, he's mostly behind them. So, K-Jazz, happy birthday to you. I know you're releasing a banger. We can't wait for that as well. God bless you, my brother. And that's all the time we have this morning. It's been an amazing run with you. Thank you for always being a big part of the show. God willing, tomorrow we'll return with more content for you right here on GH Today. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Good morning.